From supers to hypercharges, from gadgets to star powers, there are tons of abilities inside of Brawl Stars. And today, we're going to be ranking every single ability in the game. It took a lot of time to make, so subscribe if you want. And with that being said, we're going to start off with the attacks. Let's get into the F tier attacks, starting off with the very worst attack, and that is Melody, in my opinion. Keep in mind, these are all opinions. Melody, yeah, she deals about 1000 damage, and that's it. Sure, she gets a node surrounding her, but that's not her main attack, so we aren't taking it into account. Actually, we're not taking any attack enhancing abilities into account, such as a gadget or a star power, for example. It's just the main attack. Joining her in the F tier, we have Sam without his knuckle busters. This is just straight up abysmal. And we also have Chester with a single bell. This is just kind of pathetic. All of these attacks barely deal any damage, and I mean, they're just really weak. Now I also quickly want to point out that these attacks are not ranked inside of their tiers individually, so if an attack is D tier for example, it's a D tier attack. I did try to distinguish the attacks a little bit from like bottom and top tier, but it's not ranked very strictly. Alright, so I put Clancy's first stage attack here, but he got nerfed after I made the ranking and everything, so I guess we're just gonna move him down to F tier as well. Then the actual D tier, Genji's dash attack, it deals 1000 damage, has very little range, but there are some things that make up for it. He can actually move, so he can escape from people, which is nice. And he heals when you attack, but still it's not a great attack. Then we also have Meg's small form, and yeah, it doesn't deal a ton of damage. However, you have a lot of range with this attack, and that's pretty nice. Then also Charlie's attack, it just deals 1600 damage, just one attack, not that good. They have Jackie, Jackie just has no range and yeah, he can't really do anything. Doug, same thing, however Doug might be a little bit better since you can heal your teammates as well. I still don't think it's a great attack, so yeah, D tier, I think it makes sense. Then we have Ash at his low rage state, he just barely deals any damage. It's something, but yeah, it's not great. Lily as well, she has the shortest range in the game I think. Edgar deals no damage, has no range. However, just like Genji, he does heal with every attack, so that's nice, but it's still a pretty bad attack. Then we're gonna move on to the C tier, and we start off with Hank. I hate to break this to you, but yeah, Hank does not have the best attack in the game. He deals a ton of damage, that is really nice, but you can easily interrupt his charge, and then he just becomes completely useless. It takes too long to charge his attack, and you can only hold it for like 3 seconds I think, so it hurts man, it hurts. Then we also have Bonnie, it's just a decent long range attack, nothing special. Kit's regular attack, it's good, but not really. Yeah. Chuck, look, he deals quite a lot of damage, but his damage is really inconsistent, which is making it not too good of an attack. And it's a mid-range attack. I mean, it's not the worst, but there are definitely much better options. We also have Chester with 2 bells. It's just a little bit better than Chester with 1 bell. I mean, it's double the damage, so that's great. Then we also have Sam with Knuckle Buster, so he actually deals 3.2k damage with 1 attack, which is a lot of damage. However, his range is super limited, and that's also why he's not at a higher tier. Janet has a mediocre attack, it's not much. Ash at his mid-range stage is here, and I mean, he deals a little bit more damage than he previously dealt, however, still not a great attack. Grom is also here. Now listen, Grom's attacks are really good, but it's too easy to dodge, so his damage is great, his range is great, but it's just too easy to dodge, man. Then also Stu, and Stu is kind of like Edgar, he deals the same amount of damage, however, Stu actually has range, which is nice, but yeah, it's not a great attack. Then we also have Mortis. Now look, we had Genji's dash in the D tier, and Mortis's dash in the C tier. Mortis's dash just deals a lot more damage, which is making the attack a lot better. Speaking of Genji, we also have a slash here. It's alright, it's kinda like Kit. It's a little bit better because it has more range and you heal. Surge at stage 1 and 2 is here. Their attacks are the same, doesn't matter what stage you are on. It's a decent mid-range attack. Mr. P, he just lacks damage. Sandy also lacks damage, does have some good control, but you are not gonna burst down anyone with this. Rosa's here, she lacks range. Poco also lacks damage, however, you have some really nice control with his attack, so that's making it pretty good. Otherwise, it would have definitely been like a D or maybe even an F tier attack. Primo is here, just the same reason as Rosa. Their attacks are not bad. Nida's here as well. it doesn't really pack a punch. Then we also have Bull, and for Bull you need to be like inside of someone to deal some decent damage. Gray is just easy to dodge. He deals an alright amount of damage. Gray makes sense. And then we also have Max, and Max attack is alright. Like, he can deal some chip damage to prevent people from healing up, but it isn't the greatest thing ever. Then we also have RT Superform, and RT Superform is basically Jackie and Doug's attack. However, it deals more damage and you get a mark, and that mark is super nice. And we're not counting in double, so that you hit someone with your legs and with your like head or whatever, your floating thing. Just one attack and it's alright, it's not the best. Lastly, for the C tier we have Brock, and Brock is pretty decent. However, it's too hard to hit someone at mid-range. He has great splash, he has great control, but yeah, on mid-range you're pretty much dead if you're a Brock. Then we have the B tier attacks, and we're starting off with a new brawler, which is Shade. He can hit through walls, which is great, but just like so many other brawlers, he lacks a lot of damage. Then also Surge at stage 3. He gets some nice range and splash at the end of his attack, so that's pretty good. Then we also have Draco's regular attack, and depending on how far you are inside of his range, he can deal 2.8k damage with a single ammo, which is great. However, he also deals 1.4k damage, and that is not good. Miko is here as well. I mean, he can just dodge everybody with one attack, which is great, but people can easily time it when you come down and then you die. So there is a big downside to his attack. Maisie, same thing. There are downsides to her attack. She deals a ton of damage, which is great, but it's way too difficult to hit her attacks because of her speeding up mechanic. Then we have Willow, and Willow is just a decent thrower poison attack. RT's main attack, and you get a mark, which is really good because his attack itself, it does not do a lot. Okay, it only deals 1.4k damage. It's super narrow. However, that mark is super beneficial. Chester is moving on to 3 bells now, and you get great area control. You deal even more damage, and yeah, it just becomes better and better. Next up is Buster in the B tier, and Buster is pretty good. Deals a lot of damage up close, and even at a little bit longer range, it's really nice that his attack can pierce, allowing you to hit multiple enemies. Then we have Gus. Gus is just a decent long range, nothing too special. Same with Eve. She has a decent attack, there's just not much to it. And then we have Fang. Now, Fang is really good up close, but he can also deal some chip damage really far away, which is great. Lola has a very average attack, I would say. It deals good damage, has good range, has good area coverage, pretty good. Then we have Buzz, and he can deal almost 5,000 damage with a single ammo. That is absolutely insane. Ruffs is here as well. Ruffs can bounce his attacks, which provides a lot of versatility, making it B tier. Now, also in the B tier we have Ash at high rage, and now he deals twice as much damage as his rage at stage 1. Colette. Now look, it doesn't matter who you play against, you will always deal a good amount of damage onto every single brawler. Then we have Ems. Now Ems can deal so much damage if you're at mid-range. However, at close range, she is really lacking, unfortunately, so yeah. Carl is the upgraded version of Charlie. Deals almost twice as much damage, he can pierce his attacks, and I think he is just a lot better. Then we have Penny. Now Penny itself doesn't deal a ton of damage. However, if your opponents are tanking your shots for each other, then yeah, you're gonna get a lot of value. Next up is Frank, and Frank just has a great attack. It's basically Poco's attack, but with more damage. Then we have Daryl, and Daryl is just the same as Bull. It has a little bit more range, and I think it's just a little bit more versatile. Then we also have Tara, and Tara deals almost 3k damage with a single ammo. That kind of surprised me. She also has more range than I expected. You can actually chip away at people at a quite far distance. Then we also see Pam, and Pam, yeah, her attacks are really good. Like up close, you melt people. From far away, you can always get like 1 or 2 shots to hit someone, so they can't heal up. I think Pam's attacks are pretty underrated. Shelly, and Shelly is basically Pam, but in a little bit of a different form. Like, she almost has the same range, deals a lot of damage up close, and yeah, she is B tier as well. And lastly, we have BB. Now, BB is just Genji's Slash, however, it deals a lot more damage and has, I think, even more range. Then we're moving on to the A tier attacks. Juju is our first brawler in the A tier. Her attacks actually change depending on where she's standing, so that makes it a lot better. However, she doesn't deal a lot of damage. It's a great thrower attack though. Then we have Clancy at stage 2. Now he suddenly deals a ton of damage and is a really good mid-range brawler, so A tier makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Next up is Amber, and you could say this is one attack. I don't really want to count it. I think you just like hold it down for a couple of seconds and then that's an attack. I think her attack is really good, provides a lot of area control. Angelo also going into A tier, 4k damage with a fully charged shot is crazy. You can get knocked back and your entire attack is just gone, so that's a big downside. Kit in his super form is here, and Kit's attacks deal like 3.2k damage. Their aiming thing, like where you can hit them, is really small, so you're not gonna hit everyone with it, but it's still one of the best thrower attacks in the game. I think the same can be said for Larry. Now Larry has been nerfed into the ground, but he's still somehow insane. Larry first has a little attack and then it explodes again, making it a lot bigger, which will usually hit you, and if you hit your first shot then you will definitely hit your second shot as well. I just think his attacks are absolutely amazing. For tierlist as well, it's not actually a close range attack, it's a mid-range attack, and it deals so much damage, like you can shred almost anyone with it. We also have Mandy's attack here, and Mandy has a lot of range, not the most damage, but it's still really good. I think her attacks might even be S tier. Then we have Chester's 4-bell attack. This shreds anyone if you're close to him. Like, you cannot approach him because it's just and you're gonna die. Next up is Otis. Now he will deal 4k damage with a single attack. I know I said we wouldn't count star powers and stuff, but no one actually uses the other star power, I think, so I'm just gonna count this. I'm sorry. I think Griff's attack can be very much compared to Otis, so he's going into A tier as well. And the same thing goes for Belle. Now look, Belle's attack does not deal the most amount of damage. I know. However, she gets those little bouncy shots, and that is actually amazing. That is what makes her attack really, really good. Just like Sprout's attack. Now look, we're seeing a lot of throwers here, and I think most throwers' attacks are just really good, and Sprout's attack is also really great. It can bounce. I think it's just an amazing attack. Then we have Leon, and Leon has a little bit of a fall off. I think his attacks would have been S tier a little while back, but his damage at a long range got nerfed tremendously, so he's dropping down to A tier. It's still a great attack though. Same with Piper. Now, I know what you're saying. Piper has like the best attack in the game. No, she does not, okay? A Piper is cooked, and I mean absolutely cooked if you're standing close to her. She has that gadget, but we said we wouldn't take those things into account, so it's just her attack, and at close range it's really, really lacking. However, at long range it's probably the best and most consistent sniper attack. Then we also have Bo, and Bo has quite a lot of damage, good area control, and I just think his attacks are really underrated. Next up is Dynamite, and Dynamite also 3.2k damage per ammo. It still requires a little bit of skill to hit your shots though. I don't think it's too difficult, but yeah. Next up is Jessie, and Jessie has that triple bounce effect. That's really great. Like, you cannot have people clumped up together because they're just gonna get melted by you. I think her attacks are great for area control. Same with Barley. His attacks just lay on the ground for 2 seconds, or what is it? I think it's 2 seconds. You can get 2 ticks from it. It deals a lot of damage, and I think his attacks are A tier as well. Now we have Colt, and Colt's attacks are difficult to hit consistently. However, it does deal like an insane amount of damage, so that's definitely A tier worthy. Then we also have Gale, and Gale, you cannot miss with him. Like, if you miss with Gale, that's actually impressive, because his attacks are so incredibly wide, that's not gonna happen. Then we also have Nani, and Nani's attacks are probably the most difficult to hit. However, it deals so much damage that you're gonna melt anyone with it. Then lastly, for the A tier attacks, we have Squeak, and I was really contemplating whether or not he should be an S tier or not, but you know what, we're gonna put him into S tier for sure. He deserves to be there. He deals a lot of damage. Now, I actually noticed he does deal 3k damage with his first star power and damage gear, but you know, we're not taking that into account. The thing that makes it so good is the area control you have with it. I just think, yeah, this is just S tier. Now moving on to the actual S tier attacks. Surge's stage 4 attack. Now, this is the upgraded version of the stage 3 attack, and this just gives you a lot more splash damage at the end of your attack, so that is absolutely amazing. Then we also see Byron, and Byron has a poison attack, making it automatically a really good attack. There is a downside to poison attacks. You can't just instantly deal a lot of damage, so if you get jumped by someone, you're probably gonna die. Anyways, Byron can heal people with his attacks, and that is what makes it S tier. It is so versatile. It's absolutely amazing, and the same thing goes for Barry. It's just Byron's attack, but as a thrower. It also provides a lot of area control. Yeah, Barry's attacks are S tier. Same with Draco's super. Like, if he's in his super form, you cannot dodge it. It melts everyone. It is just great. Rico as well. Now, Rico is basically the upgraded version of a cold attack, because you can bounce it, and that is what makes it S tier in my opinion. Then we also have B with a charged shot. Now I didn't actually rank her without a charged shot, but yeah, if she doesn't have a charged shot, she's definitely D tier, maybe even F tier. But with a charged shot, that is just absolutely insane. 4.4k damage, that is crazy. Then we also have Mo, and Mo's attacks are not dodgeable. Mo definitely has like one of the best attacks in the game, and also one of the most annoying ones. I think Meg also comes quite close when we're talking about annoying attacks. I mean, she deals way too much damage, and you can just mash auto aim and everything will hit you. So Meg definitely S tier in her mecha form. Then Lou, and Lou's attacks are mediocre. However, you get one thing with his attacks which makes it automatically S tier, and it's its freezing ability. The fact that you can every now and then stun someone with your main attack is probably one of the best, maybe even the best ability in the game for a main attack. 8-bit is also S tier, and he is also, just like Rico, an upgraded version of Colt, S tier as well. Then we have Crow, and Crow is really annoying. You can easily just chip away at people, not letting them heal up, because Crow actually deals 4 ticks of damage, which is even better than 3 ticks. Speaking of ticks, Tick is up here as well. This feels like the most annoying attack ranking, because Crow is definitely up there, Mo is definitely up there, Meg is definitely up there, and now Tick as well. He has the best area control probably in the entire game. He can spam out his attacks and you're not gonna get on the hot zone. I mean, you can do it, but it's not gonna end up nicely for you. Then another brawler with great control is Jean. His attacks are amazing. You can poke at enemies at any range, it feels like. And I think Jean definitely deserves S tier. Then we also have Spike, and Spike has amazing attacks. It deals a lot of damage, it's super difficult to dodge, and I think he deserves S tier as well. Then we're moving on to Pearl, and Pearl can deal almost 6,000 damage if she's at max heat. That is absolutely ridiculous. However, is her attack better than Clancy's attack at stage 3? I don't think so. I think Clancy's attack is maybe even the best one in the game. His damage output is just wild. Like, who came up with this? You suddenly get 2 more projectiles on the sides, and that just deserves S tier. Well, those were all of the attacks ranked inside of the game. Here is the full tier list if you want to see it. Keep in mind, 8-bit should be a little bit lower. Those were the attacks. We can now move on to the supers. We're not taking charge rates into account, and that'll become very clear soon. So yeah, let's just get started with the F tier supers. Probably the very worst super is Stu Super, and this is what I mean by charge rate. He has the fastest charge rate in the game. However, just one little tab won't do much. You just dash and that's it. You leave a little bit of fire behind, but other than that, it's really not that good. Joining Stu in the F tier is Bull, and you're usually better off not using it at all if you don't have his Stomper gadget, which is also something. We're not taking gadgets or star powers or any super enhancing abilities into account. So if you don't have his Stomper gadget, Bull Super is pretty much useless, so that makes it F tier. Then we also have Ash's super, and you can usually just take down the rats before they do anything, and even if they hit you, it doesn't feel like it does a lot. Also, there are a couple of brawlers which have transforming supers. They include RT, Draco, Meg, Bonnie, Kit, and Mo, and their super basically does nothing except for transforming them. So I just made a separate tier for them, the transform tier. Yeah, we're just gonna put those supers into there. Then, the D tier supers, and first up is Edgar. You can jump, and that's it. It doesn't do any damage, you just jump. It's good for movement, and that's all. Then we also have Chester's Pop Rocks, and the fact that you cannot throw this super is just kinda bad. Like, you have to be inside of the hot zone for it to work effectively, and even then it's not versatile whatsoever. Yeah, this is a D tier super. Then we can move on to the C tier, starting off with Chuck's super. This is not a versatile super. It's great in heist, but other than that, it's not really good. It does deal a lot of damage, but you're kind of limited to what you can do with it. Now, I'm sure a skilled Chuck can do so much more with it, but yeah, it's a little bit difficult to rank this one. Pearl though, she is C tier, and you lose all of your heat if you use your super, and that is a massive downside. Then we also have Eve, and Eve is basically the upgraded version of Ash's super. You get a couple of hatchlings, and they are great to push enemies back, but other than that, it's really not that good. Most people can just take it down, and then, yeah, well, there's nothing. Then we also have Lola with a spawnable, and you just get 50% of yourself. Yeah, you can easily take it down. And Jackie, you can like pull people inwards, and then you can easily hit them, and that's all. Next up is BB, and BB doesn't deal a lot of damage. It is really good if there are a lot of walls, but that doesn't make it too versatile, and you want supers to be versatile in order to be good, so yeah, BB is going into C tier. Together with El Primo. El Primo, he just jumps and then he knocks you back, and that's it. It's kind of counterintuitive because you're a close range brawler and then you super someone and knock them back so you can't reach them anymore. Similar to El Primo, we also have Surge. Now you even have less range, however you deal more damage, and yeah, I guess it's kind of the same super. Then we also have Bonnie, and Bonnie also kind of a similar super. You just jump and then you land onto someone. However, you don't knock anyone back and you deal damage, like a lot more damage, and you have way more range. So that's great for escaping and stuff. So yeah. Speaking of escaping, that is actually the only use for Janet's super. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not really feeling this one. B might be a little bit higher than C tier, but yeah, you just hit someone and then you slow them and then you can auto aim. Piper, also an escape super. I'm just noticing there are a lot of escape supers here. But Piper, you jump away and you'll leave a couple of mines behind. And those mines, they will explode and usually just 1 or 2 of them hit you and it doesn't deal too much damage. It's good for escaping though, so that's nice. Then we have Grom, and Grom has a big bomb. Grom basically gets a bigger main attack. Like, it deals more damage, it's longer, it's wider, it breaks a wall. Squeak super is super easy to dodge, like you just walk away and then it does nothing. Damage is super inconsistent, so not a great super. Willow. Now Willow, you take someone under control and then you can do something with them. You're very vulnerable when you use it, so in game modes like Showdown where you can walk people into the smoke, it's really good, but there could also just be someone like third partying and then you die, because there's no way to break the spell. Then we also have Tick, and Tick has a head that will chase you down and it deals 4,000 damage if it hits you. That's great, but you can usually just take it down. Brawlers like Mortis though, they are gonna struggle. Then we have Gale, and with Gale you just knock people back and that's everything. Now it does deal a decent amount of damage. Mr. P super is annoying at best. You just spawn a couple of porters and you can easily take them down. Lily super, this is just a teleport basically, but you have to hit someone and it deals damage. Miko super, you jump in the air. However, you can get hit when you're jumping, so you're kind of like standing there and people can kill you. It happened way too often that someone killed me there and I don't like it, so we're going to C tier with this one. Then we have Kit. Kit super, you just jump onto someone and then you stun them and you deal a little bit of damage. However, third partying has never been so easy because you're just a sitting duck there and you're just gonna get killed. And then lastly for the C tier we have Pam, and Pam just has a healing turret. It's pretty good, like you get nice healing, but you can also easily take it down and then it's useless. Then in the B tier we have another Chester super, and this is his healing super. It heals him for 4.8k health. It's definitely a good super and it heals over time, so that's nice. Then we're moving on to Carl, and Carl has a great super. However, he is very vulnerable when he uses it because one little knockback and your super is gone, making you waste it. Then we have Spike, and Spike is just the upgraded version of Chester's Pop Rocks. It deals more damage, has about the same area control. Then we're moving on to Shelly, and Shelly just gets a upgraded version of her main attack. It deals quite a lot of damage, however at longer ranges it is pretty much useless. Then we have Hank, and Hank super, it's pretty good. Like, you can heal up, you can snipe people from across the map, you can melt people as well. This might even be A tier. Then we have Meg Swipe, and this is just BB's main attack. Colt is also an upgraded version of his main attack. You can break walls, you have a lot more bullets. It's pretty good. Frank is also an upgraded version of his main attack. It's very common for like the older brawlers to just have an upgraded version of their main attack as a super. So Frank, you can stun people. However, it does take quite a while to charge your super, like actually charge it when you want to hit it. People can escape, people can knock you back, and you're wasting it basically. Brock is great for area control. You can use your super and then you have great area control. Belle, you get marked and then you basically are dead. Yeah. Next up is Nani, and Nani is kind of vulnerable when you use it. However, if you use it in the back of the map, you're completely fine. If it doesn't one-shot someone though, it's usually not that good, but there are good use cases for it. Then we have Larry, or actually we have Laurie, because that's a super. You spawn him, he has decent range, doesn't deal a ton of damage, but he's annoying to deal with. He might even be better than B tier. Then we have Sprout, and Sprout is pretty good. Like, you can block off an entire section of the map and then people cannot cross it, so it's great for area control. Then we have Charlie, and Charlie can cocoon someone, making your match a 2v3 for 5 seconds. It's good and you can probably win or not, I don't know. Next up is Amber, and Amber provides a lot of area control. You can put it on the map and no one wants to walk in there because yeah, you're gonna get oiled up and burned. The burn is also pretty good because it lasts for quite a long time, not letting anyone heal. Ems is also great for area control, because Ems just has this massive zone around her, which slows you and it deals a little bit of damage. Next up is Bo, and Bo places his mines always somewhere in the most random places known to man, and then you walk into them, and that's annoying. It deals some nice damage, so yeah, you can usually just get one hit if they don't know where it is, but it can also get deactivated, and that's the downside to it. Then we have Sam, and Sam deals a lot of damage, and it can pierce enemies. Next up is Buzz, and Buzz is just Lily's super, but you can also hit it on walls, and it doesn't deal damage, but you get a stun. So that's pretty cool, and it's great for movement, and you can move up and down and everywhere you want to go. Next up is Crow, and Crow is just Edgar's jump, but you get daggers when you jump and when you land, so that's making it a lot better. Then the A tier supers, and here we have Chester with his bomb, with his stun, and with his poison. I think all three of these are great, so yeah, a whole A tier makes sense, I think. Next up is Nita, and you get Bruce, and Bruce just chases enemies down. It's really annoying to deal with, and especially if it hits you, he can melt you. Rico, also an OG brawler, which gets an upgraded version of his main attack. You get more bullets, and it has more range. Rosa, her super used to be a lot better when she was released, but it's still a great super. A shield is always nice, so you can't go wrong with this one. Buster, he can block enemy projectiles, and that's great. You can push up, you can pressure someone, you can do whatever. I don't know, it's a good super. Then we have Daryl, and Daryl is a little bit difficult, because if you get your super, you get 2 super. So are we gonna take 1 super into account, or are we gonna take 2 supers into account? I'll say we'll just take 2 into account, because you get 2 for 1, so yeah. Daryl super is just A tier. Then we have Angelo, and Angelo is great. You can amplify your damage by 1.5 if you hit someone when you're standing in your super and they get poisoned, so they cannot heal up for a while if they get hit. Moving on to Maisie, and Maisie is just Pearl super but with a lot more range, and you don't lose heat because you don't have heat at all. Then we have Mandy. Mandy might even be S tier, to be honest with you. If you can hit multiple enemies, they are just gonna die. You can hit people from all the way across the map. It has like infinite range. It deals way too much damage. I like this super. And Juju, now she has a pet. It's called like Geronimo or something. So Geronimo is great. It's basically a mix between Nita's bear and Jessie's turret, and yeah, it's a really good super. Penny, also a lot of pressure. Her super just provides a lot of area control, and it's really annoying. Then we also have Barley, and Barley has a ton of area coverage. Deals nice damage. It lasts for a long time. I think his super is amazing. Then we have Lou, and Lou is also great for area control. You can freeze people. They will slip and slide all across your super. Jean also has a great super, because if you're gonna pull someone in, they're usually just gonna die. It's really game changing, and it might even be S tier, but it's really hard to hit sometimes, so I'm just toning it down a little bit. We already talked about Jessie's super, but here's her actual super. So her turret, it's great, good for control as well. There are a lot of great control supers, and Jessie is one of them. Next up is Kenji, and Kenji deals a ton of damage if it fully hits you. He also heals up, which is also great. Mortis also heals up when you hit your super. It's a lot more though, because you heal your entire super damage. You basically just have a life leech ability with his super, and that's great. Another healing super is Barry, and Barry heals for 3k health, and he also damages enemies for 3k. And you get nothing. It's a little bit weird, but yeah, I mean, you don't heal, but the ice cream that stays on the ground is really nice. Next up is Gray, and Gray gets teleports, and they can really change the game depending on where you place them, especially in 5v5 knockout with your El Primo. I know who you are. Bob. Moving on to Ruffs, and Ruffs boost your entire team, or actually it's just one person with one super. It's a permanent boost until you die, so it's not permanent, but let's just say it's permanent, so that makes it better. A tier. Next up is Byron's super, and Byron's super is basically Barry's super. However, you can throw it over walls, but you don't get the ice cream laying on the ground. Then we have Poco, and Poco can heal your entire team for 4.2k health. That is a lot of health. It can go through walls. It has like infinite range, it feels like. You know what? This might also be S tier. And then lastly, we have Max, and Max just boosts your entire team, and that's great. Speed is very dangerous and very intimidating, so just use this to let your enemies shiver. Then we're moving on to the S tier, finally. First up is Mo, and Mo, you go underground, you can hit people underground, that's already kind of crazy. Then you come out of it and you hit someone again, and that also deals a lot of damage, and you knock them back. This is just kind of a crazy super. Then we're moving on to Colette, and Colette always deals the same percentage amount of damage to every single person. That's great, making it very consistent, and it deals a ton of damage to the high save. I love this super. Next up is 8-bit, and 8-bit boosts your entire team with a lot of damage. It's great for your entire team, and yeah, great. Yeah, hooray. Yippee! Tara has one of the most game-changing supers in the game. Now, if you hit it, and it's not too difficult to hit, but you still have to hit it, you can probably do it though, and you can also pull multiple people. This is basically an upgraded version of Jean's super. Then, just like Daryl, we have Melody with multiple supers. So she actually gets 3 supers, which is better than 2, because Daryl gets 2. So Melody is just going into S tier. Now we're moving on to Dynamite, and Dynamite is the upgraded version of Chester's bomb super. So yeah, that's also great. Now we have Griff, and Griff just melts any person coming too close. It deals so much damage, and it also has a lot of spread, a lot of range. It's just an amazing super. Now we have Sandy, and Sandy just gets a massive zone of invisibility. Invisibility is always really good, and that's also with Leon. This will also make your enemy shiver when you use your super, because they don't know where you are, and then you sneak up on them, and then they just get jump scared and they start screaming, and then they run away. And then we have Otis, and Otis, you mute someone so they can't do anything, and then you kill them. Free kill if you use it. Then we're gonna move on to Clancy, and Clancy, he has like multiple stages, but I think his super kinda stays the same. I think it's an S tier super anyways. This thing just shreds any person coming too close. In terms of damage, this is great. In terms of area coverage, this is great. This is just crazy. Then we have Shade, and I don't know how strong this is, because Shade isn't out yet, but it seems to be kinda crazy. There is no counter to you if you're standing inside of a wall, except for a thrower and Hank. Oh my days. But yeah, this just seems like it's crazy, so I'm just gonna assume it's S tier. Now we have Cordelius, and Cordelius just takes you into the Shadow Realm, where he will win a 1v1 against you. Moving on to Fang, you can bounce, and then you can bounce off other people, and then you kill them, and yeah, it's crazy. Now you have Gus, and Gus has a crazy super. Like, it provides a 5k health shield. You use it on a tank or whatever aggro brawler you want to use it on. They go in, they get a kill. And then lastly, to finish it all off, we have Doug's super. Now, Doug might be the worst brawler in the game, but his super is probably the best in the game. Actually, it's probably not, but let me explain everything about Doug's super to you. You revive, which is a great ability. However, you stay in the same place, so people can just predict where you're gonna respawn, and then you probably will lose half of your health. There is a massive downside to this. Well then, those were all of the supers ranked. With the supers out of the way, it's time to move on to the gadgets. First, we made tier lists. That's not what we're gonna be doing right now. A tier list existing out of 172 different things. That's a little bit too much. Starting off with the very worst, and that is Sam's Pulse Repellent gadget. Why would you even want this? Made with love. I've never in my entire life seen anyone rock this gadget. Coin shower. You basically get 3 extra coins, and well, that's about it. Crash test. They can keep buffing it, but it probably will never be a good gadget. Rebuild. This would be pretty good if it had more range, or if it had like indestructible walls or something. Right now it's just kinda lame. Motherly love. This is just too difficult to use. You gotta like predict the future in order to make it work. Fast forward. You dash and that's it. T-bone injector. You just heal. It might not be this bad, but I just don't like it. Tar barrel. You slow someone, but it only happens if you're like right in front of them, so when is this ever gonna be useful? Acid spray. The damage reduction is just a little bit too much in order to make this viable. Sneaky sneakers. You gotta predict the future in order to make this work. I don't have a time machine, so this is not gonna go well. Mine Mania. You just get 3 extra mines, and I mean, Tick already has great area control. You don't need it. Rotten banana. Do they really have to make you lose your health? Asteroid belt. Walls are really useful for El Primo, and then you're destroying them. That doesn't make sense. Utility belt. I don't know what to say about this. This is a pretty weak healing gadget. Soul switcher. Just like Rotten banana, why do you have to lose your health? Spellbound. It's pretty good because you can instantly deal damage and you get 500 extra damage, but Willow doesn't really need this. Fidget spinner. The chances of hitting anything are really slim to begin with, and even if they hit something, it doesn't deal the most damage. This is just awful. Protective tunes. This doesn't have the versatility that a good gadget needs to have. It's good in ranked if you know what brawlers you're playing against, but in ladder, this is just awful as well. Spring ejector. It's fun, and yeah, well, that's it. Pulse modulator. Your turret suddenly heals a little bit more. Yay! Super sticky. It might not be this bad, but I rarely see anyone use it, and maybe it gets a little bit of value, but I don't think it's that good. Finish them. It's nice to finish someone, but Yeah, nah. Mace's attacks are just too difficult to hit, so you're probably not gonna hit it. Wind up. It's nice, deal some extra damage, have some more range, but nah. Dormant Star. Your super will always get value, but you have to be close to it so you can actually kill someone. Toolbox. I swear this is only used to block projectiles. Water balloons. This might be good, but no. Tripwire. You also need to predict the future. However, it's a little bit easier, but most of the time it doesn't even hit because your enemies will just run away somewhere else. Extra credits. You get a lot more projectiles and it's good if you're alone in the high safe. Other than that, unloading all of these projectiles takes way too long and you're probably just gonna die. Order swap. I've never seen anyone use this either, so that probably means it's not good. Sleep stimulator. Now this is only effective if there's no one near you, but if that's the case you can heal up normally, so why would you use this then? Nuh-uh. You just do 1000 extra damage. I guess it's good to finish someone, but nah. Garden Mulcher. It used to heal so much more and right now it's just kinda bad. Trusty Spyglass. 9 out of 10 times nothing hits, so what's the point of using it? Psychic Enhancer. You can see into every single bush and that's cool. Recoiling Rotator. It's already really rare for you to hit 1 projectile, let alone hit 2 projectiles, and then you might get 25% of your supercharged. I'm not really feeling this one. Service Bell. This is just annoying. Clone Projector. As long as your enemies aren't brain dead, they will just know it's a clone and it will barely do anything. Double Sausage. This heals for a lot of health, but why don't you do any damage? Ice Block. You become invincible, but after that you're just gonna get obliterated since you cannot move. Bear Paws. If it hits, it's good. If it doesn't hit, it's bad. And most of the time, it doesn't even hit. Active Noise Cancelling. This makes sure you can always perform your super, and that's great. Reverse Polarity. Be honest with me, you just use this to do trick shots. Rerouting and Ghost Train are both here. I think both gadgets are pretty good. With one, if you mess up, you can undo your mistake, and with the other one, you can jump scare people because you suddenly go through a wall and they don't expect it. Watchtower. 9 out of 11 times you just use this to block something. Sticky Syrup Mixer. It's decent. Vengeful Spirits. Great to finish off enemies, bad any other way. Defense Booster and Barricade are both here. They're the exact same gadget and they provide a 40% shield. You know what? They might deserve to be higher up on the list. Rattled Hive. I've been using this way more recently and it's actually pretty good. Presto. Now you can close in gaps easier, but you still can't connect them to someone. Jolting Volts. This is really good for mech because you can stay in your mecha longer, but usually you just get melted out of your mecha anyway, so it won't do too much. Air Support. This is great area control and that's what it's meant for, so that's great. Dashy Dash. You get a dash and then another one. And another one, you just turn into Mortis. Faux Fur. This is the better Nita gadget in my opinion, especially at higher trophies where people won't get hit by your stun anyways. Fire Starters. This is very good paired with their star powers. Piggy Bank. Great, you can now open the map. Grand Piano. The better version of Piggy Bank. Rocket Laces. A jump that deals knockback has never hurt someone, except if you're an Edgar. Gotta Go. Same thing here, except you don't knock anyone back, but you leave a little hatchling behind. Stun Double. It's a decent teleport. You just switch places. Caramelize. You're as good as dead if this hits you. Cheeseburger. It's nice, because you can keep your Daryl teammate alive. You're annoying. You know that. Recoil Spring. Just use this in Heist. Fat Splatter. You get a barley attack, but you can't go over walls. Perfect Pitch. I've never seen anyone getting like good value out of this, but I guess it's alright. Nest Egg. You put this somewhere on the ground and then you can slow people and you can kill them. That's good. Shot in the arm. Good healing. Only problem is it takes away your ammo. Freeze Frame. The fact that your ego cannot move anymore is a big downside and it will probably also get it killed. Chill Pill. It's good. Porter Reinforcements. It's even more annoying than Service Bell. Cookie Crumbs and Master Fletcher are both here. Same exact gadget, you can pierce through walls. Rocket Fuel. And you don't leave any burn behind. Radio Check. If you miss 3 attacks and that makes you look really bad. Super Totem. Good for team plays. Sandbags. More and more splash damage brawlers are being added and that's making this gadget not too good anymore. Warp Blast. Or actually it should be called Scare Blast or Warp Scare. Corn Foo. Popcorn lays on the ground and my teammates become vacuum cleaners. If there's popcorn on the ground, they will just run into everything and suck everything up. Popping Pincushion. This deals a surprising amount of damage up close, and the amount of Mortises I've seen getting deleted by this is just funny. Uppercut. This is the goofy version of El Primo's Suplex Supplement. Honey Molasses. This slow is really annoying and you want to take down its gadget. Combo Spinner. You're the type of person to use this on a full health Frank. Repot. This is underrated guys. Trust me, I've never played Lily, but this is underrated. Slowing Toxin. It got nerfed, it got nerfed. Yes, it did, but it's still pretty good. Personal Space. Your friend probably plays Miko and Duo Showdown together with you. I don't even know if this still works. Elementalist. Gambling! But you already know what you're gonna get, so it's not really gambling anymore. Candy Beans. Gambling! But this time you really don't know what to get, so it's gambling. Yoo! Herbal Tonic. You heal your entire team, and that's great. Jump Scare. Boo. Heat Injector. This got like a buff or something, because it's absolutely crazy nowadays. Dive. This is a loose ice block, but you stay underwater, and it's a little bit more difficult to time where you're gonna come out, so it's a lot better. Spark Plug. Finally, Scrappy can hit someone. X-Ray Shades. You display Cavern Churn. Or Feast or Famine. Rat Race and Breakthrough are basically the same gadget. You dash forward and break a wall. Speed Zone. You boost your entire team's speed, and that's good. Backstage Pass. Remember, the longer you charge your attack, the further you jump. Booster Shots. This will always hit someone. Grow Light. Scary bushes on the map. Support from Beyond and Spiders are basically the same gadget, so here they are. Suplex Supplement. This is cool and funny and cool and cool. Spicy Dice. Even more gambling! But this time it's with supers. So that's making the gambling experience even better. Sugar Rush. Reload Speed. Movement Speed. Yeah. Homemade Recipe. Yeah, this will just hit you. Return to Sender. You return someone's damage to the sender. Irresistible Attraction. You pull a lot of people because you're very attractive. I guess you could say you're irresistibly attractive. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Friend Zoner and Lamp Blowout are basically the same thing, so yeah, you just push people away. Life Plant. Cactus. Drop the base. This is super annoying, just let me heal up. Silver Bullet. Instant Wall Break. Good. Salty Barrel. Power Surge. This is really good if you're struggling to get your first stage. Vitamin Booster. Lots of healing. Cheat Cartridge. This is the embodiment of Disengage. Pairs super well with her super and you get a stun. Replanting. Very good in Cordelius. Hardcore and Interlude are basically the same thing. You get a shield with both, and I think it's pretty essential for both of their kits. Clipping Scream. You deal some more damage and you're not letting anyone escape because you are slowing them down. Tactical Retreat. This might be a little bit too high ranked, but you dash away and you get 1 ammo. Hacks. This is an amazing kill confirm gadget. Cardboard Box. You are not Leon. Dodgy Digging. Supercharge, really fast, annoying. Unfriendly Bushes. Yeah, you don't want to be inside of those. Healthy Additives and Friendship is great are both here. I think both gadgets are above average. Pneumatic Booster. Jackie needs this speed boost and it's great. Walking Cane. Versatile. Let's Fly. Almost an instant supercharge and Edgar needs this. Scrap Sucker. You can always steal a couple of ammo. Cookie Popper. Another great kill confirm. Lollipop Drop. Just a mini Sandy super. Reserve Boy. You probably use this because you miss your super and now you're gonna have to use the lame version. Voodoo Child. You get everything into one. What else do you want? Phase Shifter. This is probably the best dash in the game. Tuning Fork. How nice of you to only use this on yourself. Magnetic Field. Sam mains always have to decide whether they want to use the worst build in existence or the best. Twister. This is fun, it's annoying for assassins, and you can shut off an entire lane. Roundhouse Kick. It's a stun, and it pairs super well with Fang's kit. Last Hurrah. Assassins are not gonna have a field day with this one. Speed Loader. This is as simple as it's gonna get. You just get 2 ammo. Order Fallback. It's good, but it's worse than before. Snappy Shooting. You need this. Like, really. Flying Hook. You just get great mobility, great versatility, and that also applies to Sting Flight. Both gadgets, you cover a great area if you use it, and yeah, well, you can just escape anywhere. Poison Mushroom. This is a portable Otis super. It's really annoying and good. Auto Aimer. I don't like you. Overcooked. Yeah, well, you use this onto someone and they're gonna get burned. Oh my days. Transplant. This will just make sure you will always have a super ready, and it's really great. Sweet Dreams. Yup. You gotta go to bed. Extra Mustard. 4.5k damage with a single ammo is kinda crazy. Hozomaki Healing. It did get nerfed by a lot, but it's still great for survivability. Cryo Syrup. Now you really don't want to be inside of Blue Super. Survival shovel. You better not activate this and make the wall pregnant. Long arms. It extends Shade's range by a lot and it's really good. Stomper. If you're playing Bull, you need this. Residue. This used to last a lot longer, but it's still 5 or 6 seconds. It's just an amazing gadget anyways. Bouncy Castle and Multi-Ball Launcher, both here. Both insane gadgets by Rico. Slow-mo replay. It doesn't slow anymore, but, you know, out of line. I am so glad inline is gone. This is so much better. Dancing Flames. You just melt anyone who comes too close. Power Shield. Be honest, you're just spamming auto aim in hopes of someone hitting you. Last Stand. Yup. Clay Pigeons. Shelly turns into a long range brawler for 5 seconds and this is just amazing. Gotcha. You just get an infinite healing glitch with this one. Satchel Charge. Dog. And lastly, Lily's Vanish Gadget. You just cheat death with this. It's annoying. It's way too good. Yeah. Delete it. Or nerf it. Or, I don't know. Those were a lot of gadgets. We also have a lot of star powers. In that last, we have Remote Recharge. This is, yeah. I don't believe there is anyone who actually got their super back from this. And if you did, you're lying. Sneak Peek. You can now see what super you're gonna get, so you can anticipate where you have to stand in order to get value. Yeah. Wisdom Tooth. This would be better if the projectiles weren't molecule sized and they only deal 500 damage, so that is very, very, very minimal. Automatic Reload. A nerfed version of the reload gear as a star power. That's something. Take Cover. You have to be inside of a wall. Stage View. This is pretty good on bushy maps, but Janet on bushy maps is not it. Fast Food. The speed boost you get from this is not massive. It is crazy. Pinpoint precision. Only at the very tip of your range this star power takes effect and it's a little bit difficult to anticipate when it's actually gonna happen. Foot Patrol. I don't see the use case for it. Power Throw. Super boring. Doesn't feel like it does anything. Sponge. Giving the tankiest brawler in the game more health. Yeah, great. Definitely necessary. Grounded. Brawlers with 1 ammo will suffer. Brawlers who need to get close to you will suffer. Everyone else is completely fine. A Natural Order. Your first egg will be easier to hit because it's bigger. Damage output will probably be a little bit higher throughout the match. Stencil Glue. 3 seconds of mute is probably enough to kill someone, so it's not necessary to make it even longer. Power Hungry. Insanely good in solo showdown. Not versatile because everywhere else, bad. Quick Maths. Longer duration of marks. Is it really necessary? I don't think so. To the max. It might be better, but no. Healing Bonanza. You'll probably never pick up the ghost because of Cookie Popper. Slimy. I don't know. Studied the Blade. Doesn't feel like it does anything, and even if it does something, it's probably not too substantial. Record Smash. Good on Heist. Yeah. Revolving Door. Small stat buffs to the penguins. Don't really need it. It's gonna blow. 10% speed boost. You can catch up to people a little bit more easy, but nah, it's not that good. Love is Blind and Obsession. This is more just a preference thing. I think Obsession is a little bit better probably, but both star powers don't feel like they're too substantial. Hard Candy. This used to be a lot worse, but because of the projectile speed buff Mandy got, it is a lot better right now. I still don't think it's a great star power. Berserker. This could be pretty good on Heist. Heat Retention. Makes Pearl Super more usable. Magnum Special and Slick Boots is just a preference thing as well. Both are not too determining whether Cold is good or not. Super Sticky. His super almost never hits, so this star power almost never gets value. Scorching Siphon. This is helpful sometimes. Protocol Assist. This could be good. Usually it's not doing too much, but yeah, you can get some value out of it. Tougher Torpedo. Buzz's stun will be a little bit more consistent with this. Master Blaster. Good against aggro brawlers, but you better not throw this super somewhere in order to hit someone, because it's not meant to deal damage. Heat Shield. A 20% shield every now and then can be pretty good. Hard Landing. This is getting too much glaze, it's not that good. Overly Attached. The 5 extra seconds can be useful sometimes, but usually you don't need it too much. Field Promotion. Good when you have a cheese comp, good when you're in a map where you don't have to engage someone for a long time. Otherwise your teammates will die and you lose the extra health. Super Cool. This star power is not super cool, it's not that cool, no. Power Grab. It got nerfed, yeah. Blockbuster. This is amazing for team plays, you can deal so much damage when people are close to you. Circling Eagle. Cavern churn moment. Honeycomb. You're usually just spamming out your charge shot anyways. Hardy hat. A permanent 20% shield. Spirit slap. Brawlers with under 8k HP are probably dead if you pull them with Jean. Mama's hug. Very, very, very minimal healing. Shocky. Scrappy never hits someone. If it does hit, the bounces will probably never hit someone. Photosynthesis. It helps keeping Sprout alive. Positive feedback. Whenever you hit someone, you get a shield, good for survivability. Fisticuffs. It might seem like it does nothing, but this actually helps you in a lot more interactions. Digestive. This used to deal 50% damage, right now it's 25. It is what it is, I guess. Vocal warm-up. You can now spam more in long range. Heavy coffers. This and a salty barrel gadget. That's fun. Tough guy. Pretty good shield. Force field. The 10 seconds this shield lasts is the 10 seconds you need to recover from the shock of just losing your mecha. Mad as heck. 40% extra reload is kinda wild. Black powder. The extra range you get from this is pretty good. Fertilize. This is actually pretty underrated, but usually you won't use a super on yourself, so then this doesn't really do anything. Rolling reload and steel hoops is also just a preference thing. I use steel hoops. Obviously, rolling reload is gonna be better on heist, for example. Yeah, just depends a bit on what you're playing. Tickets, please. I've never really seen this change any games around, but it might be pretty good. Thorny gloves. It's quite a substantial amount of damage you get from this. It's actually kinda useful. Batting stance. This is a decent shield, I guess. Handle with care. A little inconsistent, however, it's not bad. Extra noxious. This is consistent, but it's not too detrimental. Protective pirouette. Carl becomes one of the most tanky brawlers in the game for a short while, and if he doesn't get knocked out of a super, he can probably just kill everyone. Keep the change. I've tried it out a little bit more recently, and it's not as bad as people say it is. Self-service. Percentage wise, you barely heal yourself. Ambush. Your DPS will go up by a lot, but you need bushes. Divine Souls. Overrated. Plant life. Especially when Rosa uses her super, she is really dangerous. Flow. Water. Necessary. But the speed boost is crazy because you're barely getting hit by anyone. Chain reaction. I don't think your opponents will be that stupid to just run towards each other when someone gets hit by one of your projectiles. Still though, you get more damage and that's good. Protocol protect. Remember when this used to deal 100% of the damage back to Laurie? Making a mess. More consistent damage. Overgrowth. You will probably like 90% of the time hit your shot that is charged with overgrowth. More rockets. Your super becomes more consistent. Carrion Crow. The purple bar is so satisfying when you hit someone. I don't know what it is about this. Medical use. This is the same as Doug, but percentage wise, this heals a lot more because Barley has less HP. Recording. The close range form of RT is now really good. Combo Shrooms. This offers a consistent DPS upgrade. Hyper Bear. Really good on heist. Also decent in other modes. Tempered Steel. You kinda become unkillable. Heavy Metal. This explosion is really good to get rid of aggro brawlers. New Perspective. This and a Hypercharge is amazing. Speeding Ticket. Yeah, you bet you're gonna get a speeding ticket because I think you're even faster than Max. Supercharged. You will now get your super once or twice more every single match and that's pretty good. Expose. Nice damage increase, kind of a Bell super. Extended Mix. Not sure how much this will do, but it exists, so that's cool. First Bash. You get your rage a lot faster. Dino Jump. This is in the middle. You're either really bad with it or you're just Mandela. Shell Shock. This and Clay Pigeons. You're dead. Healing Winds. The healing is pretty good. Yeah, sure. Pit Stop. The extra post offers a lot more versatility and it's really good. Mass Tax. You can become immune, but people can also just walk towards where you're supered and then you're just gonna get blasted. Blustery Blow. Yeah, you know what? This with the Hypercharge is actually kinda crazy. Hype. Yeah, hype, yeah. Meteor Rush and El Fuego. Also kind of a preference thing. I think Meteor Rush is better because you can catch up to people you supered, but El Fuego is also pretty good. Spooky Speedster. This is annoying. You're phasing in and out of every wall. People cannot hit you. Mama Squeeze. People will struggle a little bit more when taking down your super, especially close range brawlers. Extra Toxic. Less damage, less healing, good. Serve Ice Cold. This is a must have in 3v3. In solo showdown, completely useless. Smoke trails. You gain a lot of speed through this and you can close in gaps easier. It's nice. Improvise. The extra damage is really nice. Cavalier vest. Your super is guaranteed to get a lot of value. Insta B-load. You're gonna need this. You miss your charge shot. Hardened hoodie. Shield. Energize. You can keep healing Scrappy. It's annoying to take it down. It's also really good star power. Bellomania. The nerf kinda hit hard, but it's still pretty decent star power. Sealed with a kiss. This provides a lot of scariness. Guarded Gregory. So apparently he's not called Geronimo. Anyways, this is a nice shield. Rocket number 4. If you never reload all of your ammo, you're not going to be able to do anything with this. But the extra ammo is really good. Wild Flames. Paired with her gadget, you can always like charge a super and stuff. It's annoying to play against. Vigilance. Depending on the matchup, this is really good because you can close in gaps easier and take them down. Injection. You can heal people, you can hit people with the same ammo. Band-Aid. This is great to keep Shelly alive. Nigiri Nemesis. This nerf also hit really hard, but it's still nice. It's kinda like Fake Injury. You get a nice shield when you're at full health, and especially with his shield gear, which is definitely something I recommend, this is really good. Autofocus. This allows you to one-shot a lot of good knockout brawlers, and Nani is really good on knockouts, so that's a good thing. Home Run. Almost a permanent speed boost. Bear with me. The amount of pressure you get with this is kinda crazy. Eye Sharp. Now you can actually get your super, because you can almost get supercharge at any range. Recon and pumping up, also a preference thing. Recon probably a little bit better because you want to get past that first stage. Air superiority. You can clear walls, you can hit enemies for a lot more. This packs a punch. Spiky. This allows you to assassinate a lot more brawlers when you use your super. Run and gun. Infinite ammo glitch. Zero drag and gaso heal, also a preference thing. Business resilience. You can keep spamming, you can keep attacking, you don't have to heal up, well you do, but you get healing as well when you're attacking. Bad karma. The amount of damage this has is crazy good. Shredding. Draco stays alive for a lot longer in his super form. Spirit animal. You super on an aggro brawler and they become really strong. Happy surprise. Peekaboo! Freezing snow. Auto aim, auto aim, auto aim, auto aim. Robo retreat and super bouncy are both really good star powers. Preference thing again. Fast beats. Also almost a permanent speed boost. Mushroom Kingdom. This is a super cool star power. I absolutely love this one. X Factor. Grom's attacks deal a lot more damage, a lot more consistently. Creepy Harvest. This is amazing for team wipes. Plugged in. You're just selfish, you don't want to help your teammates, you want a speed boost. Malaise. This is not allowing anyone to heal up, and it's such a good star power. Invisi-heal. This keeps Leon alive, like really. Hypothermia. Cold. Snappy sniping. You can keep spamming ammo, it is annoying. Counter crush. A lot more damage, people will kinda just kill themselves in game. Screeching solo. I love it. Skipping stones. So apparently your range get decreased by this, but your damage output will get a lot higher. I think damage is more important for Mo, so yeah, this is still really good. In my sights, you can hit your shots so easy at long range. Wow. Coiled snake. Might not seem like it's that good, but yeah, nah, you can always go in, or at least a lot faster. Monkey business. You win almost any 1v1 with Miko. Numbing needles. This slow is so annoying. Please, stop. Push it. You get a Gale super into a Colette super, but you can get absolutely obliterated if you're at the end of your range, so you have to watch out for that a little bit. Snare a bear. This stun is devious. Ink refills. 33% extra damage per ammo. Kinda really good. Black Portal and Healing Shade, preference thing, again, but these are kinda crazy. Boosted Booster, now you're helping your team and yourself, but it's really good, 50% extra damage. Well oiled, this is great. Floor is fine, Barry has the slowest reload speed in the game, buff it by 50%, that's all you need. Empower, now you can heal and charge your shot. Curveball. You can dodge it. I know you can. Tremors. Super. Auto aim, auto aim, auto aim. Super. Auto aim, auto aim. You get the point. Rude Sands. Amazing area control. Demolition. You can like one shot, what is it, 80% of all the brawlers in the game? Absolutely crazy. Magic Puffs. You're an amazing team player. I like you. Da Capo. You too. You're also an amazing team player. Fresh Kicks. Super. And then another one. And another one. Spam, spam, spam. Hooray, hooray, hooray. But it's really good. And then the best star power in the game, I think, Hardy Recovery for Sam. So he had the worst and the best. I don't know. Sometimes you're even unkillable. Poco, for example, cannot kill you. Star power is done. time to move on to the Hypercharges. We're of course starting off with the F tier, and probably the worst Hypercharge in the game is Sprout. Now look, in Heist it's decent, but no one plays Sprout in Heist. In any other mode, this super does nothing. People can hug your wall and it still won't deal any damage. I don't know what's up with this, but it's absolutely terrible. We're moving on to Pearl. Now Pearl, she knocks people back with her super, and then you leave a burning area behind. Why would anyone with eyes walk into that fire? I just don't get it. If it charged your heat faster or something like that, it would be a lot better. Right now it's really bad. Now we have Nani, and this Hypercharge practically does nothing. Like, it makes your Nani head bigger, makes it easier to hit people, but not really. It makes it more awkward to use as well. I really don't like this. Then we have Miko. Now Miko is usable, but you first have to like spam out your attacks and stuff, and then use your super so you can actually make use of the stat buffs. Otherwise, when you hypercharge and super immediately, you get 0 value out of the stat buffs. So you kind of waste your entire hyper. Then we have Jean. Jean pulls in multiple people, really cool, but you can only hit one person at a time, so you're kinda cooked if you do that. Also, you pull people faster, so you have less time to unload your ammo when they're getting pulled, so you have less time to kill someone. Lastly, in the F tier, we have Charlie, and Charlie leaves spiders behind when you super someone. Doesn't really make sense because those spiders are gone when someone comes out of their super. If they change it so that the spiders would appear when the cocoon opens, that would make a lot more sense, and then people actually have to deal with the spiders first because they're right on top of them. Then we have the D tier, and we're starting off with Daryl. I don't really feel like this does anything. You maybe deal some more damage, you maybe get a little bit more supercharge. No, this is not good. Ems is good to wear off aggro brawlers who are close to you, and that's it. It doesn't deal much more damage, doesn't do anything, it feels like. Next up is 8-bit. 8-bit gets a turret, and that seems great, but people can easily take down your turret. If you place your turret behind the wall, well, it won't shoot anyone, so then it's kinda useless. Lastly, for the D tier, we have Squeak, and Squeak's hyper seems good until you play it, and it barely hits anyone, ever. Then we have the C tier, and we start off with Bull. Bull gets a shield, which is great, but once you come out of your super, the shield is gone and you're gonna get obliterated. Then we see Brock, and Brock is receiving a lot of hate for his hyper. No one seems to find it good, but it actually got buffed by quite a lot. I don't think it's too bad anymore. It's actually worth using it now. It's decent. Next up is Poco, and everyone thought Poco's hypercharge would be absolutely crazy, it would be dumb broken. But it turns out it is not that good. You get an overshield, which is nice, but it depletes way too quickly in order to make use out of it. Now we have Spike. Spike is really lame. You get a bigger super. It does the job, but it's not anything extreme. Now we have Angelo and Fang, and both their hypercharges are equally as good, I think. But there's one problem, and their charge rate is super slow. There are matches where you don't even get your hypercharge because of this awful charge rate, and I think that is really bad. Next up is Primo. Primo is pretty good. You can pull people close to you when you super. It's pretty good because you can cycle super faster. Makes your damage output a lot higher. I think this is a pretty decent hypercharge. Then we have Tick, and Tick gets a faster head. It almost always hits, and the mines it leaves behind 4,000 damage. That's really good. Usually no one walks into it, but when people do, it is really value. Next up is Shelly. Shelly gets a bigger super, deals a little bit more damage. I think it's a pretty decent hyper. Same thing for Colt. Super just gets a little bit wider. These older hypercharges are really lame. That's true. Then we also have Jackie, also one of the first hypers. You slow people. This slow area is actually really big, so you can slow people almost anywhere on the map. That's pretty good. Then we have Jessie. Jessie gets a bigger turret. It has more health. I guess it's decent. You get it quite often, but I don't know. It might be B tier, but I think it's fine. Now we have Belle, and you can always or almost always hit your super. The home in is nice, but it's not always necessary. Now we have Cordelius, and Cordelius is hyper. It slows people down in the Shadow Realm. It almost always secures a kill, but usually you also already secure a kill in the Shadow Realm, so it's kind of overkill. It's pretty good though, and it might also be a B tier hyper. Then the B tier, Rosa. Rosa gets a slowing area around her. That is really good. People won't escape from you once they're close to you, so you can probably just kill them because you also have that shield up. She's really good. Then we have Crow. Crow is insanely good on Heist. Anywhere else, you have to be inside of someone to kill them with his hypercharge. Problem is, Crow is really squishy, so you're probably gonna get killed. Moving on to Otis, and Otis has a pretty good hypercharge. You stun people. It's not really necessary because you can probably kill someone already. It's not bad though, but it's not anything special either. Then we have Buzz, and this is more fun than it's good. It's really good for movement, and you can probably get a couple more stuns off. You can maybe kill someone quicker. I don't know. It's not bad. Next up is Piper. Now you can do some cool tricks with this. It is actually pretty good. Might also be A tier, but I think B tier is decent. Then we have Ruffs, and Ruffs gets a Hypercharge from his Hypercharge. It's a little bit difficult to use. I don't really know. It seems really broken, but I think it's kinda meh. Then the A tier, and we're starting off with Janet. Janet's super will be a lot easier to control, which is really nice because you can move and move and move. I guess it's pretty good. Then we have Maisie. Maisie's hyper is kinda crazy. It deals a lot of damage consistently as well. It's really dangerous against tanks. Next up is BB, also really dangerous against tanks. You can cycle super after super after super. I think this might be the most fun hypercharge in the game. It's so satisfying to see so many bubbles everywhere. Gray gets 2 teleports, one with a shield as well. This is really good. Next up is Barry. Barry's super doubles in size. This area control is crazy good. Penny also has great area control. You now get 2 cannon shots. Basically doubles her DPS, and it also provides a lot more area control. Colette is great, especially on heist, but also everywhere else. If you use push it and you hypercharge, you can probably hit your super twice, and your clone or whatever it is also hits twice, and you can cycle super after super after super, and that's really good. Leon, also an amazing hypercharge. You become invisible always. It's really scary. Next up is Frank. And Frank is a little bit difficult because you break all of your cover. You want balls, but you break everything. This hypercharge is still really good. It's really threatening. Moving on to Ash, and any splash damage brawler is gonna take care of Ash's rats. If they can't do that though, Ash's hyper is absolutely wild. Now we have Edgar, and Edgar's hyper is the only thing that makes him remotely viable. You need this hyper if you want to play Edgar. Buy this hypercharge. Eve's hypercharge is next up, and I haven't really tried it or seen it, but it seems to be kinda broken, especially if you don't have any brawlers who can hit multiple enemies at once. This is gonna be crazy strong. Then lastly, in the A tier we have Gale. The charge rate got nerfed by quite a lot. You don't get it as often anymore. Still though, if you can hit 3 people per hypercharge super, you can cycle it and you get team wipe guaranteed. Then the S tier. Starting off with Surge. Surge's hypercharge is really good, really dangerous. Definitely one of the best ones in the game. Nita. Nita's bear becomes a lot stronger, a lot better, a lot scarier. This is amazing. Then we have Barley, and Barley's hypercharge is really underrated. I think a lot of people underestimate how strong this hypercharge actually is. Then we have Sandy. Sandy is great. You can mute people. I don't know why they added that, but it exists. Your entire team gets a massive speed boost and of course invisibility. That is really strong. Moving on to Lou, and Lou can stun someone. Stun is one of the best abilities in the game, maybe even the best, and when you instantly do that, that is just amazing. Now we have Tara. Tara also gets a bigger super, but this one is actually super essential. You usually pull in more than one person so you can cycle your super again. This is just absolutely broken. Now we have Mortis. Mortis, team wipe, usually. Yeah, it's annoying and it's really strong. Dynamite deals too much damage. Those little sticks as well are crazy. They charge half of your super. You can probably get like 1 or 2 or 3 supers per hypercharge. Stu got his mutation as a hypercharge. It is, yeah, dumb broken. Max is also amazing. The supercharge, the speed boost, everything is just so good about this hypercharge. Then we have Rico. Those balls will go everywhere and they will hit almost every single time. And then probably the best hypercharge in the game is Melody's. With Melody you get 3 extra notes, but this also stacks with her star power, so you get more speed, and with her gadget, so you actually get like a 4k shield, which is busted. Definitely go buy these, they are really good. Those were all the hypercharges. Now we can wrap things up with the gears. We're starting off in the F tier with the very worst gear, and that is Amber Sticky Oil. It slows enemies down for 10%, which is basically nothing. People usually won't even stand in your super anyways. This is just awful. In the D tier we have Exhausting Storm for Sandy. Again, people won't stand in your super. If they do so, the damage decrease is pretty nice. But if you also have your Root Sand star power equipped, people won't stand in your super anyways. However, this and Healing Wind star power is a pretty good combination, so that's the only use case for it. However, there are far better gears for Sandy, so this one's kinda unnecessary. Now we have Enduring Toxins, and this gives Crow basically 250 extra damage per ammo. This would have been a lot better if he actually got 1 extra tick because of this, so people couldn't heal up for another second. Right now, it's not really useful. Then in the C tier we have Pet Power, and 25% extra damage seems really good on paper. It doesn't feel like it does too much. It's good on Heist, with Nita or Jessie for example. On any other brawler you don't really need this, and it's kinda useless. Now we have Quadruplets. Seems pretty good. 1 extra hatchling. It doesn't really change anything. Eve has gears that are more useful for her. Then we have the Vision gear. Look, On bushy maps, this is great. You need a vision gear brawler. It is a little bit dependent on what brawler you're using. Jean, for example, is going to benefit a lot more from a vision gear than Edgar, for example. I do think it's important for some brawlers to have a vision gear, just really depends on the map. Then in the B tier we have Tick and his thick head. 1000 extra health, can change some interactions, and it's pretty good. Moving on to Shield, and Shield is also a little bit brawler dependent. For aggro brawlers and brawlers who don't have a lot of HP, this gear is a must have. For tanky brawlers, this is unnecessary, just depends a bit on what brawler you're playing. Now we have the reload gear. I don't really notice a change when I use this. It might be useful, I just don't really see it. Now we have the supercharge gear. For some brawlers, this like really changes it. You maybe need one less ammo to get your super, then it's an S tier gear. On Bonnie, for example, you need this gear. On a brawler like Otis, this is not really necessary. Moving on to the A tier, and here we have lingering smokes for Leon. Pairs super well with his hypercharge. Now we have the health gear. Health gear is useful in almost any brawler. You heal a lot faster, or at least you heal a lot more, allowing you to go in a lot quicker. Now we have Super Turret for Pam. This is a lot more healing you get from her turret. In Hot Zone, for example, this is menacing to play against. Now we have the Speed Gear. This is a must-have on bushy maps. It's so good. Speed is always really useful, and this boosts your speed by a lot. Then the S tier, and we're starting off with Bat Storm for Mortis. This used to be really bad, or at least not too useful. After he gets Hypercharge, this is one of the best gears in the game. You need this on Mortis. This is so incredibly good. Now we have the damage gear. Damage is useful on every brawler. Super versatile. Now with the +1 gear, you get an extra gadget. For some brawlers who are really dependent on their gadgets, this is really useful. Edgar, for example, gets a lot of use out of this, but also other brawlers. Then we have sticky spikes, and you're basically stuck when Spike has his mythic gear. You can barely move. When you're inside of his super, you're cooked. Lastly, we have Talk to the Hand. This extra range changes games around. This is so incredibly good. This is usually a must-have on Jean. I would definitely recommend buying this gear. Those were all the gears. Alright, that was every single ability inside of Brawl Stars ranked inside of one video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. You're definitely not gonna agree with anything I said. Anyways, a huge shout out to my channel members. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.